So last night, Sophie Cunningham actually responded to, the Kiki area fan takedown.
The whole gym went silent when Mystics rookie Kiki Irvin shoved Sophie Cunningham like it was WrestleMania, not a WNBA preseason game. For a moment, the crowd was stunned. But Sophie isn't the type to let something like that slide. She jumped up, stormed over to Kiki, and said something so fiery, the broadcast team probably reached for the mute button. Things heated up fast, with Dawana Bonner and Lexi Hull rushing in to back up Sophie. But as intense as the moment was on the court, it was what came after that really lit up the basketball world. Sophie hit back with a clapback so sharp, it felt like a mic drop from space.
Man, I'm looking forward to when is the first game? May the 29th. Or May the 28th. I am looking forward to that. But Sophie Cunningham responded right here with an Instagram story about it. And these two teams do not like each other. They do not like each other.
But let's rewind for a second and break down how it all started.
It wasn't announced that Caitlin Clark wouldn't play until right before. But this is a preseason game where Clark is not available. And yet,
Yes, you heard that right. A rookie actually body slammed a veteran to the hardwood like she was trying out for a football team, not playing in a basketball game. And not just any vet, Sophie freaking Cunningham. A seasoned baller with a black belt and don't play with me. Kiki Irvin, the Mystics' fresh out of college rookie, apparently thought a preseason game was the perfect time to make her WWE debut. The slam was blatant, unnecessary, and straight up disrespectful. It wasn't defense. It wasn't a hard screen. It wasn't even a foul with a purpose. It was a message, and that message was, I want attention. And Sophie? She answered loud and clear. Be careful what you wish for. Now are you ready to hear how Sophie broke her silence? If you're riding with Sophie and the whole Fever squad, drop a fired up for the Fever in the comments below.
What are we doing? Right there, you can see Sophie telling her after that flagrant, you don't mother effing do that. You don't mother effing do that.
Sophie's response was instant and absolutely righteous. She jumped up and got in Kiki's face like she was defending the entire WNBA. You don't bleeping do that, she snapped, channeling every veteran watching from home. That wasn't just adrenaline talking, that was earned respect. In this league, you don't knock down a vet like that unless you're trying to become public enemy number one. And to make it worse, Kiki smiled. Not an oops, my bad kind of smile. Nope. This was a smirk, the kind you see in a villain's origin story. The kind that says, I think starting drama makes me legit. Spoiler alert, it doesn't.
That's Kiki Irvin, and I gotta tell you, here we go with the smiling like you've done. I don't get it. This is the worst part of the WNBA. It is. A ton of reaction. The smiles afterward, let's get negative.
But the Mystics weren't done targeting Cunningham. Later in the game, Brittany Sykes delivered another unnecessary shove, sending Sophie crashing to the Efluragain. That IT wasn't subtle, that IT wasn't basketball, that IT was bullying. Plain and simple. At that point, a clear pattern was emerging. Washington players were singling out Cunningham, and they weren't even trying to hide it.
This was another one right here. This was Brittany Sykes, and Dawana Bonner got involved in this one. She did. Little standing on business.
Then came the cavalry. Dawana Bonner didn't hesitate. She headed straight for Brittany Sykes, making it crystal clear that the Mystics' cheap shots weren't going unchecked. It was like a team-wide alarm went off. One of theirs had been hit, and now it was all hands on deck. That's what real teams do. You mess with one Fever player, you deal with the whole hive.
And all I will say as well is it's going to be a fun couple of games. The Fever, when is the first time they play the Mystics? This is what you want to see. You want to see hype.
Rewatch the footage, and it's obvious this wasn't anywhere near a basketball move. Kiki didn't box out under the rim. She grabbed Sophie and slammed her to the floor. Period. There was zero basketball relevance to that play. It screamed one thing loud and clear. I want a headline. Well, she got one, just not the kind she wanted.
It's going to lead to a heated rivalry game. It's going to be leading to that on the 28th of May. We are still in the month of May. We get to watch these two teams go at it again. And I stand by this. This was absolutely not. This is not going to be the first time or the last time Sophie Cunningham is going to get into some sort of a brawl next season.
As expected, social media lit up like Times Square. Fans weren't having it. Everyone from casual viewers to hardcore WNBA lifers called out the Mystics for bringing street fight energy to a league built on finesse, precision, and mutual respect. The consensus was clear. That wasn't a power move. That was a cheap shot. And even as coach Stephanie White tried to smooth things over in the post-game presser, Sophie's face said it all, no words needed.
Yeah, this was the response. I'm just a girl, but I only play WWE with my sister, so chill. And obviously while posting a clip of that.
But here's where things got legendary. Sophie didn't spiral into drama. She didn't demand a league review or post a long emotional rant. She did something way better. She dropped the most casually savage Instagram post of the year. No paragraphs. No overthinking. Just one icy line. I'm just a girl, and I only play WWE with my sister. Cold. Instant classic. The subtext? Don't flatter yourself. You're not the villain. You're the warm-up act.
Kind of random thrown to the ground. Maybe I need to hit the weight room. That was not a good look. But she had my back, and I think that's what it's all about, right? I think that we have a huge target on our backs, and I don't think that's a secret. And so making sure that our locker room's like this, and that will naturally flow onto the court, and I think you guys saw that.
That's how you shut someone down without even breaking a sweat. While Kiki tried to flex, Sophie used humor like a scalpel. She didn't just respond, she reminded Kiki, and the entire league, who the real grown-ups are. That line didn't just dismiss the incident, it buried it under a mountain of chill. Sophie didn't flinch. She didn't fume. She hit back with a smirk and a black belt's worth of confidence. And speaking of black belts, did we mention Sophie earned hers in Taekwondo when she was just 6 years old? That's right. While most kids were learning to tie their shoes, Sophie was mastering the art of precision strikes and controlled strength. So no, Kiki didn't just pick a fight. She picked a fight with a martial artist in sneakers.
She earned a black belt in Taekwondo at 6 years old. You can earn a black belt at 6 years old? I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, Sophie Cunningham is... I would say Sophie Cunningham is not something you'll mess with. Everyone messes with Sophie Cunningham.
Which, by the way, made Sophie's chill caption 10 times more cold-blooded. It wasn't just a flex. It was a hidden warning. She was basically saying, I could have handled this another way, but you're not even worth the energy. And honestly, that's more intimidating than any shove could ever be. Sophie turned a moment of chaos into a masterclass in composure. She made herself look unbothered, while making Kiki look exactly like what she was. A rookie trying too hard to go viral.
Of times, like there are like 5-minute long compilations of Sophie Cunningham starting fights. Like, do we not remember what Sophie Cunningham did last year to Indiana? They literally, I'm not joking when I say this, she walked into an Indiana huddle, threw a blind elbow, and then walked out and got away with it.
Sophie's message hit the sweet spot. Witty, sharp, and completely stripped the incident of any heat Kiki thought she'd generated. And the best part, it earned her respect across the board. Fans praised her poise. Players nodded in solidarity. And in the Fever's locker room, they rallied around their teammate like never before. In a league built on storylines, this one's officially locked in. The next Fever versus Mystics game, yeah. Go ahead and circle that on your calendar now, because this isn't just a rivalry anymore. It's personal. And Sophie Cunningham just proved she's not only ready for it, she's already winning.
Sophie Cunningham just ends up being the villain of the Fever. I think she's the damn villain for the entire WNBA, the old WNBA fan base with some of the stuff they said about her. I think she's probably thinking, you know what, let's get the heat off our number 22. When these other teams last year, when they were trying to punk Caitlyn, you know what, let's piss off these players enough that instead of them trying to go off Caitlyn, get her off her game, they go for me. And that's one of the things with Sophie Cunningham, with those type of players, that people don't realize just how important that they are, and just how big they can be for a team.
The real flex in this whole showdown wasn't who got shoved or who yelled louder. It was how Sophie Cunningham handled the aftermath. Instead of throwing hands or running to the refs for sympathy, she clapped back with something far more lethal, calm, cutting humor. It was a message that said, I see you. I'm not scared of you. And I'll remember this forever. It was the veteran version of a mic drop, only better, because it was delivered with class and zero emotional leakage. Translation, message received, Kiki.
See again in the response, like, she's posting the video. If she didn't want to smoke, she would not be posting anything. She would have just ignored it. And you better believe when these two teams play on the 28th of May, it's going to be heated and it's going to be an awful, awful lot of fun.
This whole situation instantly cranked up the heat on a game that should have been just another preseason box score. But now it's circled in red ink on every fan's calendar. The next time the Fever and Mystics square off, it's no longer about preseason reps. It's about pride, revenge, and unfinished business. This is the kind of drama that fuels the WNBA's rise in popularity. Players who don't just play the game, but bring a whole Netflix-worthy plotline with them.